when we want to get better at detailing, not just as the quality of results, but the efficiency of it, of can we get it done faster, especially if this is you as a business owner running a detailing business. You want to finish it as fast as possible and still get those great quality results because you are working for money, and the quicker you can finish it, the more money you can potentially make. Now, in this video, I want to talk to you about how checklists, yes, checklists, where you just check off the little boxes and make sure you're going through the right steps, how those can help you be a lot better, a lot more efficient in your detailing. Now, I did make a thorough blog post on this, which will be linked down below. So if you also want to read a very thorough, the blog post is going to be a lot more thorough than this video. So there's templates, there's downloads that you can use that I created. So check that blog post out, download the templates, and then just go based off of that. Now, there's two main reasons why checklists are so helpful. Number one is it helps us maintain quality. And number two is if we have a helper, a part-timer, someone that's just going to come out and help us on a specific day, a checklist can greatly help us with that as well. Now, as far as maintaining quality, just think about it. At least in my experience, when you're detailing, let's say you have like a 5-hour detail, right? You start off with a lot of energy. You start off very motivated. And as time goes on, your energy decreases the more you work, correct? And then add that, it may be really hot. It may be really cold, just not the ideal conditions. The car is giving you a lot of problems. So towards the end of the detail, you're ready to get out of there. As much as you love it, as much as you obviously want to provide the best results possible, you do get tired, you do get frustrated, and your energy, your discipline, your willpower just quickly starts to deplete towards the end of the detail. So then you'll start moving quick. Maybe you have another customer to attend to. Maybe you just have some other event that you have to be at a specific time. So you start to rush, you start to speed check, you start to just clean as quick as you can to wrap it all up. And how a checklist can help is if you have all your steps laid out, then instead of you saying, okay, I remembered I was going to say I'm going to double check that before I leave. I was going to clean that one thing I saw when I was vacuuming, whatever the case may be. If you have a checklist laid out, then you'll be able to pinpoint every single step you're supposed to do. And instead of thinking about anything, instead of trying to use your mental power, your mental willpower, as it's depleted anyways, instead of you trying to muster up some discipline and will, then you just check that checklist and it says, okay, instead of me thinking about anything, I'm just going to go through this checklist because it's covering everything that I need to cover as far as checking my work. I'll just follow the checklist. If I mark them all off, then I know I've completed the car and we're good to go. And as far as helping us with a assistant, a helper, a part-timer, whatever it may be, then if you have a proper checklist made, then instead of you saying, hey, look, you have to check, you have to do this, you have to do that, make sure you do this, you hand them the checklist and say, hey, look, you're going to do, 1 through 5 or 1, 7, 6, 5 or 1, whatever the case may be, whatever steps you give them and say, this is what you're going to do. And this is what I'm going to check when we're done, when you're done. So that way, instead of saying, hey, well, did you do that? Did you go over there? You just say, hey, look, I gave you steps 1, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10 to do. Did you do them? Yes. Let me check your work. And that way you know specifically what to check and you give them an exact action plan on what to do. So very helpful stuff. And it's not like, this is groundbreaking stuff. Checklists have been around for years. And most of this is based off of the book of the Checklist Manifesto by Atul Gawande. And he's the one that really sought out on why checklists can be so beneficial. And he's actually a surgeon himself. And the reason he started implementing checklists is because there are so many mistakes happening in surgical rooms and operational rooms where he said, if we could just solve these basic problems, and these basic problems were problems that were easily skipped over because they were so obvious. So instead of, you're saying, oh, Oscar, I do paint correction every time. I do interior so many times. I do engine cleaning so many times throughout the week. I absolutely don't need something to help me. I don't need a checklist for that. And same thing as Atul Gawande says is that it's the checklist is there to help you with the dumb stuff, with the most obvious things that you can miss because it's so simple and so common that we do every single day. Again, check the blog post, much more thorough. So it's there to help us with the most obvious dumb steps and of course everything else. But again, if you do it, if it's so obvious to do, we're more likely to miss it because like, oh, it's common sense, we do it every time, so it's easier to skip through it, especially again, as I said, towards the end of the detail when we're just rushing and we're, our energy level is not there. So he's also, so same thing with pilots. Pilots have a checklist for just about every single thing that can go wrong in their aircraft when they're up in the air, when they're landing and descending. They have checklists both on paper and both electronically. Their preference on which way they want to go. But when they have a problem in the air or when they're landing or descending, they do troubleshoot through a checklist saying, is this on? Is this off? We do this, we do that, step by step by step. And same thing with Atul Gawande with the World Health Organization. He's been able to implement checklists in surgical rooms throughout the world, and he's seen great results with less mistakes that cause fatalities or infections or other things you don't want to happen in a hospital. So checklists are definitely something you want to invest in. Again, check the description box. I have a blog post, a much thorough blog post. It's hitting close to 2,000 words, explaining a lot more in depth on checklists, how to use them, why to use them, how to create them. And again, I give you some of mine. So if you want to download those and play with them around, create your own, by all means, do that. So check that out. Leave a comment down below. Check the blog post. Like this video, and I'll see you on the next one.